ended the previous video in the town of Cirebon on the north coast of Java, and the experience had been rather unpleasant.
Good riddance, Cirebon.
On my way into Cirebon, I had been accosted by drunks, lunged at by a man with a crazed look in his eyes and a big stick in his hands, sized up by some corner boys who seemed very interested in some of my equipment, witnessed a man publicly defecate into the open sewers, and I'd even seen a naked man wandering through the piles of burning trash, which were everywhere. It was definitely the poorest, most deprived, and probably the sketchiest area I'd ever cycled through. So apologies for the lack of footage, but I'm sure you can understand my apprehension to go waving expensive electronic equipment around. Alright, enough of the recap. Let's get back to it.
You're nervous riding in traffic and you want to get better at it? You want to learn how to ride in traffic? You want to build that confidence? Just do a bike tour of Java. It's changed me, I'll tell you that. This guy has picked his side in the browser wars. Loyal till death, the Mozilla Firefox bus. Just had my first puncture that isn't sealing. I'm going to try and put a plug in it. If that doesn't work, I'll try topping up some more sealant in here. Oh man, I've been dreading this moment, but it's here. Hey.
It's my life. Mas, bottle.
Not now, no.
Oh no,
Annoying kids. Not a good time to be bothering me right now. Oh, all right, I had to put 2 plugs in that one, so let's see if it holds. I'm gonna go to an Alpha Mart, get some water, see if it's held then. If not, I guess we'll load up with some more sealant. This is actually the first time that I've toured on tubeless. I've always toured with tubes. But I got kind of comfortable with tubeless when I was mountain biking in Atherton and whatnot. And I decided it was worth a go trying it for touring. And so far, it's been perfect. It's been amazing. I haven't had a single puncture through all sorts of crappy roads, and the tires have been holding air great. That's the first incident I've had. So, yeah, all right, mate. What the f is that all about? Anyway, hopefully that resolves it. I've been really thankful for the lack of incidents so far, because the last couple of days, obviously, I've been going through a bit of a sketchy area, so not the kind of place you want to stop and have to do repairs. So let's make sure it's 100% good before we start going into Jakarta. All right, we made it to the Indomart. The repair seems to have held. Filled up my water bottles, got some supplies. I think we're good to go. Right as I'm doing some ruminating on how things have been and with people and how my interactions have been so far, I end up in that place, which is just, what a difference. What a different vibe that whole area had, man. You know, I knew Indonesia was a poor country. I know that you can tell straight away just by the prices of things and the state of the economy compared to the West. But that was the first time it's been really in your face. Just the piles of trash on the sides of the road. And it's a lot on fire, and then it's like a naked dude wandering in amongst it. And then shortly after that, some crazy guy charged at me with a log. I didn't get that on film, but that was a bit of an experience. Yeah, anyway, that's the first time I've been in an area that felt kind of sketchy. So anyway, today I got up early, hit the road, and we got the hell out of there. I've gone inland. I figured that if I went back inland into the hills, maybe it would be a bit like the Indonesia that I've been getting used to so far, rather than that place. It's actually insane how much more peaceful it is here inland. It's just blowing my mind. Like a couple of hours ago, I was in chaos. Insane.
So that may well have been one of the best days of cycling that I've had in Java. It didn't have the beautiful views, you know, we didn't get majestic rice terraces or epic volcanoes. But in terms of road quality and how quiet the roads were, that was just amazing. That was exactly what I needed after escaping that really rough patch down by the coast. There's this like mega highway that runs parallel to the coast. And I kind of suspect that the rough patch is the space in between the highway and the coast. There's this like long flat strip of land, and it's all kind of swampy and mangrovey as far as I can tell from the map. And it seems that that's the problem area. I say problem area, not problem for everyone, problem for a cyclist like me. So I'm gonna try and stick inland as much as possible, but very, very soon my luck is gonna change, because now I'm getting close to Jakarta.
Well, that was nice. Just spent the last half hour being ridden through town, guided and shown the way by this older gentleman on a bike. Couldn't speak a word of each other's language, but we kind of got the point across. I was heading to Jakarta via Karawang, and he was very, very intent on showing me which way to go and making sure I got through the town safely. So that was nice. Yeah. I think we're going through a rubber plantation. There's little buckets hanging off all the trees. I think that, yeah, I think they're collecting rubber here. Let's stop and have a little look. Yeah, so in case you didn't know, the way it works is they score the tree like this, and all the sap comes out, all the rubber runs down, and then comes along this crease here, down this little spout, and into the bucket. Plantation just goes on for miles, as far as you can see. Pretty cool. Hey, take care.
Oke. Oh, hati-hati ya.
Okay, I can see.
Oke.
Okay, so that was kind of tough. Trying to make some progress, pulled in at an Alphamart to use the ATM, draw out some money, get some electrolytes, and the old bloke that I was cycling with earlier in the time I've been like messing around and doing all my stuff and trying to get on the road, he's caught up with me. He's been cycling like a madman to try and catch me. And he's trying to cycle to Jakarta with me. He's like asking, he's saying, I'll accompany you. Like, man, what a nightmare it was trying to figure out what he wanted, like through a combination of Google Translate and asking strangers nearby if they could help and all this stuff. I think I basically got that he wants to ride all the way to Jakarta with me. And, you know, that's a really nice offer. And it would have been pleasant to ride some of the way with him, but I just can't do it, man. I can't be riding at half of my normal speed for the next 2 or 3 days to get to Jakarta. Bless him though, like what a lovely guy. And he oh man, it gets better. While we're trying to explain all this, he dragged me into like a roadside chicken shop. And I kept saying, no, I don't want any food, I don't want any food. But he's insisting, come get food, come get food. But I go in with him, I'm pressured into doing it, I feel bad. So I go with him and I bite into the chicken and it's completely pink. It's not even close to cooked. So I had to like just leave it. And then I felt bad because he's bought me this food and I haven't eaten it. Oh man. And all that so in the end I could get someone to translate and tell him, no, I want to cycle alone. And then I feel terrible, he's disappointed. And I've lost all this time out of the day. Oh man. This is terrible filmmaking. I should have filmed that whole process, but it's just, things take you by surprise, you know? You're not expecting when you're trying to fill up your water bottles to have this random guy turn up and drag you on a mini adventure. All right, Jakarta. So I've talked a little bit and I've shown a little bit of what I've been eating here in Java. I've been showing you the mendoans and the bakso and all that stuff. But what I haven't shown is any fish. And specifically, I haven't really talked about how I've been avoiding eating fish. You know, which can be a little bit difficult in some of the Padang restaurants and stuff like that. Now, we all know there are some risks associated with eating fish these days. A lot of fish are high in mercury, and these days people are talking about microplastics that the fish are ingesting that can then get into your system. Now, those risks grow exponentially when you're in a really polluted place. And that bridge that I just crossed is a bridge over, I'm going to murder the pronunciation here, but the Citarum, or the Chitarum, or the Chitarum, I'm going to call it the Chitarum River, which has the honor of being one of the most polluted rivers in the world. And so that is why I have not been eating any fish here.
Now, I'm sure I'm just being a bit melodramatic, and the fish around here most likely don't come from the Chitarum anyway, seeing as there aren't any left in it, but I'm not really a big fish guy anyway. At this point, the ride to Jakarta became a boring slog on long, straight, busy roads. The only places to stop were the frequent Indomarts or Alphamarts. But soon, I began cycling into the city. All right, did it. Made it to Jakarta. Finally here. Oh man, it was not a fun time cycling into Jakarta. Oh man. It's not so much the traffic, it's the layout of the roads. I found it so hard to navigate. And it's especially difficult when your planning app puts you onto a toll road, a massive like 8-lane highway that bicycles aren't allowed on. Anyway, I made it. Today I'm gonna go into town. I wanna try and get some CO2 cartridges. I had that issue with my tire And I want to put more sealant in, but I don't want to let all the air out in case I lose the bead off of the rim. If that happens, I might have a hard time getting it back on again. So if I get a CO2, that's kind of a bit of security. It means that if the bead comes off, I can just blast it back on with CO2. And then maybe tomorrow, I might go to Batavia? The old Dutch quarter. It's like the old Dutch colonial part of Jakarta. I think that's the only real thing that I'm interested in seeing in Jakarta. It's the only kind of point of interest that I've kind of had on my list. And other than that, it's chill time. Got a nice hotel, the nicest one I've had so far actually. Hot shower, fast internet. Maybe I can finally get some of these videos uploaded. So yeah, that's it. We made it to Jakarta. We're nearly done with Java. Like 2 days cycle, maybe even a day and a half cycle, and I'll be at the ferry to Sumatra. Whew. That's big. That's a big milestone. All right, let's go check out Jakarta. Jakarta is known for its malls and mall culture. Many locals and visitors to the city spend their weekends and time off hanging out in these vast air-conditioned spaces, with some, such as the Gandaria City Mall, being real attractions in of themselves. But the only retail therapy on my schedule was a trip to the aforementioned bike store, or 5 bike stores, which is what it took for me to eventually find the gas that I needed. Jakarta's Old Dutch Quarter, or Batavia as it's known, is centered around Fathahillah Square, with the former City Hall, now the Jakarta History Museum, dominating the space as main focal point. There was one museum here that interested me more though, the Wayang Museum. The Wayang Museum is dedicated to Indonesia's rich puppetry traditions and houses an extensive collection of wayang, traditional puppets, used in Javanese and Balinese storytelling. Visitors can explore a variety of wayang types, including wayang kulit, intricately carved leather shadow puppets, often used to perform Hindu epics like Ramayana and Mahabharata, wayang golak, 3-dimensional wooden puppets, commonly found in Sundanese performances, wayang klitik, flat wooden puppets that blend characteristics of wayang kulit and wayang golek together, and international puppets, with a diverse collection of puppets from China, India, Cambodia, and Europe, showcasing global puppetry traditions. The museum also displays antique gamelan instruments, puppet-making tools, and historical documents related to wayang performances. One section of the museum I found particularly interesting was the area displaying puppets of political significance, once used for performances of protest. After the Wayang Museum, I went for a walk around town and tried to check out some of the other museums. But I just couldn't stay focused. I was irritable, impatient, and upset. Everything hadn't been peachy in Jakarta, and I'd actually had a pretty rough time.
Right, let's get out of this city.
Okay, it's morning. I've been making this video off since yesterday. Yesterday was a pretty rough day. Yeah, so apologies for the light if you can't really see properly. This is not a very good hotel room. It's got quite a good view, but the hotel room's pretty bad. So I left Jakarta. And cycled a big day to get to the ferry port, and I'm now in Merak, which is the town where the ferry is. And I didn't film much at all of the trip, really, and it's partially because, firstly, it was more of the same. It was just more of the same, which I'll get into in a bit. And secondly, I had kind of a rough time in Jakarta, being honest. I didn't really want to talk about it, and I'm not going to go into details because it's personal, but I think it's probably valuable if you know what headspace I'm in. Yeah, so first of all, when I was there, I got some bad news from back home, some very sudden, unexpected bad news, which kind of put me in a weird headspace. And then the other thing, I've had something personal going on pretty much the entire time I've been in Indonesia, which I haven't talked about, but it all came to a head in Jakarta. Don't worry, I'm fine, I'm healthy, like I'm not injured, I'm not sick, nothing like that. It's just, just a little bit. So yeah, it was a pretty rough day. I just wasn't in the mood, and I'm trying very hard not to imprint these negative experiences that are completely unrelated. I'm trying really hard not to imprint them on this place. I'm trying not to leave Java with a bad taste in my mouth, because it's nothing to do with Java as such. It's just some stuff happened here that wasn't great, and I'm ready for a change. But like I mentioned earlier, it's all more of the same. I feel like when I first got here, everything was intense. Everything was scary, exciting. There was a lot to learn, a lot to figure out. And then I got into the rhythm of it, and things were cool for a bit, but then it all just started to become a bit the same. And I'm at the point now where I'm really ready for a change. I'm about to get the ferry to Sumatra. And I'm trying to get excited about that, despite the fact that it's been a really rough few days. And the fact that I'm kind of not feeling it right now, but I'm hoping that Sumatra will be a fresh start. I'm hoping that it'll be a fresh start in that it'll be different to Java, it'll be something new, it'll be something exciting, it'll be like another chapter to the adventure, this new place. And I'm hoping it'll be a fresh start in that the rough time I've had over the last week, it's going to help shake me out of that, Okay, let's go to Sumatra.
Well, alrighty then. Thank you for watching the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. That one was kind of a long time coming. When I set out to make these videos, I kind of set myself the goal of releasing one every month, and I made it about 3 months into that before that collapsed, so sorry about that. Anyway, I think I'm finally in a position where I can actually start putting them out again and try and get this show back on the road. So thank you all so much for your patience, and bear with me and I'll see what I can do. Now that video ended on a bit of a downer. Don't worry, I got over that. It was all good in the end, and now it's something I can kind of look back on and not laugh, but it's no longer a big deal. I just thought it was valuable to put it in the video for like what I said, so you guys know what headspace I was in and where I was at mentally before going to Sumatra, leaving Java, going to Sumatra. So if you've sat through the video this long, maybe you liked it. If you liked it, give it a like down below. And if you're not subscribed already, please consider doing that. It really helps me out. It makes this possible, And if you want to have your name next to these lovely people next to me,
then you can head over to Patreon and sign up there. For the price of 1 beer a month, you get access to all these videos earlier. And I'm going to try and put some other perks in there. Maybe uploading some GPX files so you can download the route of where exactly I rode through all these countries and pinpoint where in the videos I actually was. Maybe if you're planning on doing your own trip out there, it might be useful. Who knows? If anything, it might just be interesting. So yeah, I guess that's it. Again, thank you all so much for your patience. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and hopefully the next one will be out soon. Cheers.